I keep telling you guys, the takeover is here. Caitlin Clark, brand new commercial, fire. Brand new commercial, fire. She is working off the floor, booked and busy. Y'all keep talking about who's doing this and who's doing that. Nobody doing it bigger than CC right now, man.
Caitlin Clark just dropped another commercial with Dick's Sporting Goods, and the internet is going wild over her preparation for next season. Somehow, her off-season seems even busier than when she was actually playing, sparking conversations about endorsement deals, rest versus grind culture, and whether she's gearing up to dominate even more. At the same time, not everyone is thrilled about the growing attention gap. Should athletes prioritize rest or maximize their earning potential during the off-season? Share your thoughts in the comments. Caitlin Clark's off-season is becoming a spectacle of its own, because apparently, taking time off isn't an option when you're the most marketable player in women's basketball. Her latest commercial for Dick's Sporting Goods has fans excited about her return, while also raising questions about whether she's truly getting the rest she needs after a grueling season. The ad features her training on what looks like a high school court, likely a nod to where her journey began, and it's beautifully produced, with all the polish you'd expect from a major brand collaboration. But here's where things get interesting. This isn't a one-time appearance. It's part of an ongoing pattern where Caitlin's off-season is packed with commitments, photo shoots, commercials, partnerships, appearances, and promotions, leaving fans wondering when she actually has time to rest and recover. Last season took a physical toll, with an ear injury that affected her performance late in the year. Many believed this break would give her time to heal and recharge, but it's starting to look like she's simply swapped games for camera time. The irony is that one of the main criticisms of Caitlin last season was that she never seemed to stop working. Reports surfaced about her traveling to New York for promotional events and still bringing a trainer along so she could squeeze in hours of workouts instead of taking a day off. That kind of relentless drive is admirable in many ways. It shows her dedication and incredible work ethic. But it also raises concerns, because rest is just as crucial as training for long-term performance and injury prevention. The body needs time to recover, and the mind needs breaks from constant intensity. Even the most motivated athletes aren't immune to burnout.
Focused up and rehabbing and training. You think she's not getting ready to humiliate these ladies on the floor next year? They got away with one this year. They got away with it this year. It's not going to happen next year.
The WNBA's 8-month off-season is actually a luxury compared to what Caitlin had in college. Back then, she'd get maybe 3 or 4 months off before returning to training. The college schedule also allowed her to ease into the season. Non-conference games gave Iowa time to find rhythm without her needing to play at full intensity every night. But in the pros, there's no such thing as coasting. You're facing Ryan Howard applying full-court pressure in Game 2, and dealing with Natasha Cloud and the Liberty's defensive intensity from day one. There's no gradual build-up, which is exactly why that 8-month break should be used for real recovery, not packed with constant promotional commitments.
And if you thought this was going to be a nice, calm off-season for her, does not seem to be the case. It does not seem to be the case that is going to be a calm off-season off the court, because it genuinely seems like it is. It's equally as busy as last year.
The commercial itself is impressive, showing Caitlin working out in what looks like a real gym rather than a highly polished studio set. The Caitlin's Court branding suggests that Dick's Sporting Goods is trying to build a story around her journey and connection to the game at its grassroots level. It's a smart marketing move, tapping into her relatable image despite her status as one of the most gifted players in the world. She's not presented as an unreachable superstar but as someone who grinds in a regular gym, just like the kids who look up to her. Still, the behind-the-scenes reality raises questions about how much Caitlin is prioritizing her physical recovery. She's been active at fever events, appearing in commercials, maintaining a steady social media presence, and fulfilling multiple brand partnerships. All of that is great for her image and her bank account. But is it great for her body and mental health? There's a reason many professional athletes take real vacations and disappear from the spotlight during their off-seasons. They understand that recovery isn't just physical, it's mental, too. Financially, it's hard to ignore why she's taking on so much. Caitlin earns far more from endorsements than from her WNBA salary. Her Nike deal alone is worth more than she'll make from years of professional play. So when Dick's Sporting Goods offers another commercial opportunity, it's understandable that she wouldn't want to pass it up. A playing career might last only 10 to 15 years if she stays healthy and performs at an elite level, so maximizing earnings during that window makes sense from a business standpoint, even if it might come at the cost of on-court freshness. Interestingly, the criticism that she needs to be in the gym more seems outdated. If anything, last season showed she was in the gym too much. She worked out constantly, rarely took breaks, and pushed her body beyond what was sustainable over a long season and playoffs. The stories of her bringing trainers to New York for multi-hour workouts during media trips paint a picture of someone who doesn't know how to turn it off. That relentless mentality made her great, but it could also threaten her longevity if she doesn't learn to balance work and recovery. To Iowa, that approach worked. The level of competition allowed her to ease up when needed, and the shorter season didn't demand peak performance for as long. But the WNBA is a different world. 34 regular season games plus playoffs against the best players on the planet, many of whom are veterans who've learned how to manage their bodies and pace themselves through the grind.
Obviously, it was a massive bummer when Caitlin Clark missed as much of the season as she did. It still feels like a massive bummer. I think that image of her with the towel over her head is entrenched in the minds of many. Just sadness, right? It's like the end of Empire Strikes Back or something. But after that, you need Return of the Jedi. And one thing I've been thinking about and seeing a little bit when it comes to the campaigns that have rolled out around Caitlin are how they could really coincide with the
Caitlin is learning that lesson the hard way, and hopefully this offseason is giving her a chance to focus on better recovery strategies. The fact that fans haven't seen a fully healthy Caitlin Clark since September 2024 is remarkable when you think about it. That's more than 14 months ago. The last time she looked at full strength, she was dropping 27-point triple-doubles against the Sparks or putting up 25-9 against Connecticut, nearly willing the Fever to a playoff upset. That version of Caitlin Clark is what everyone wants to see again, but it won't happen unless she takes time to rest and let her body heal. The upcoming Team USA opportunity is huge. It'll be the first time in nearly a year that fans get to see her in a competitive 5-on-5 setting, assuming she uses this offseason to truly recover instead of overloading herself with promotional work. If she shows up to Team USA camp still battling lingering issues from last season, that's a problem. But if she arrives healthy and refreshed, the basketball world will be reminded why she's been the most talked about player in women's basketball for the past 3 years. From a marketing standpoint, her new Dick's Sporting Goods commercial is also strategic. It keeps Caitlin visible during the WNBA's quiet months, when most players fade from the spotlight. That's a win for her personal brand and for the league, since it keeps fans engaged even without games being played. Still, that visibility has a cost if it comes at the expense of genuine rest and recovery. What's truly striking is how far Caitlin Clark has come. UConn didn't recruit her. She wasn't a Team USA standout early in her career. Many doubted her game would translate to the pros. Now she's the most marketable player in women's basketball, with endorsement deals that outshine anyone else's in the league. She's transformed how people talk about the WNBA and brought mainstream attention to the women's game in ways few thought possible. That alone is an extraordinary success story. But success brings pressure. Brands want her for commercials because she moves products and draws attention. The Fever need her to lead the franchise and keep fans filling the arena. Supporters expect her to dominate and break records every season. Those competing demands make taking time off feel almost impossible, even though it's essential. Learning to say no and prioritize her health may be one of the biggest challenges of her career. The coaching change in Indiana might help with that. New leadership could bring a fresh approach to balance, recovery, and long-term sustainability. If the Fever's new coaching staff recognizes that Caitlin was overworked last season, they might take a more thoughtful approach to managing her workload. That could mean limiting her minutes during certain stretches, scheduling strategic rest days, and keeping a closer eye on her physical condition throughout the year. Professional sports teams have become much smarter about load management in recent years, and hopefully, the Fever are following that trend. The fan reaction to her new commercial also shows just how invested people are in Caitlin's success. The excitement isn't just about the ad, it's about what it symbolizes: her preparation, her mindset, and her drive heading into next season. Fans want to see her come back stronger than ever, dominate the league, and prove that last year's struggles were just part of her growth, not the limit of her potential. That level of support is valuable, but it can also create overwhelming pressure if not handled carefully. Some players in the league are probably watching all this attention with mixed emotions. Angel Reese, for example, had an impressive rookie year and landed her own endorsement deals, yet the visibility gap between her and Caitlyn is enormous. That's simply how sports marketing works. The most marketable athletes generate the most opportunities. It's not always fair, and it can lead to frustration or resentment, but it reflects the reality of star power in professional sports. Yes, for Caitlyn's finances, the idea that she's already made enough money to retire is likely exaggerated. Yes, her endorsement deals have earned her millions, but taxes, expenses, and long-term planning reduce that significantly. $10 million isn't never work again money when you're potentially facing 5 decades of life after basketball. She's in a strong financial position, but not completely set for life unless she's extremely disciplined with her earnings. That's why continuing to maximize income during her playing years makes sense, even if it complicates her ability to rest. The larger discussion here is about what the WNBA offseason should look like for star players. Should they spend it grinding year-round to build their brands and sharpen their skills, or should they focus on rest and recovery to preserve their health and longevity? The truth probably lies somewhere in between. Every player's balance is different. What works for a seasoned veteran might not work for a young star still learning her body's limits. Caitlyn Clark's offseason has shown that being the face of women's basketball means the work never truly stops. Finding the balance between cashing checks and staying healthy could be the defining challenge of her career. And if you want to stay updated on everything happening behind the scenes in women's basketball, make sure to like the video and subscribe, because we're covering the stories that the mainstream media often overlooks.